Smugglers Cove. Smugglers Cove.
We're back.
Yeah. Like that movie about the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I want to watch that again now, I think.
About the dinosaurs.
There was a movie called We're Back, and it's about dinosaurs.
Senior Citizen documentary.
Anyway, no, it was a very charming animated film.
Yeah.
With dinosaurs.
Cool. Yeah, I suppose if you're animated, you can't really be old.
So, we finished off question 64. Oh, right, because we said we love Alex. Yes, we do. And then you had to go talk to the lady who you love who's wearing stellar pants today.
Stellar pants.
Those are dope pants.
Yeah.
That's...
diamond checkering.
I would have a hard time focusing on my legal documents if I were working in such an office as was occupied by your wife in those pants.
Fortunately, the client's view is blocked by her big old desk. So, yeah. Unfortunately.
Really nice pants.
Really
good
nice
desk.
pants.
I do like myself a good desk. I'm really happy with my computer desk. The one that I got in my room.
Yeah.
Fuck. I do...
Desk.
Eventually, I don't know how I'm going to work it. I don't think it'll be in that room, but I would like, kind of like your dad, I want a draft table. Because I need a drawing board. I can't work like this.
No.
Especially if I want to do comics, I need to be able to...
The curse of that thing is it needs to have lights underneath it. That's the only thing it doesn't have. As a drawer, I saw this skateboarder, he does the graphics for most of the board company. Mm-hmm. And he had built himself a table. I'm sure you can just buy tables like this, but it was just, I don't know, a big enough table. Not huge, but it was white and it lit up, so you just turn it on for drawing. It was seemed brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was for back in the time where I think you had to transfer a lot of stuff, so to be able to see
light
through.
Box underneath.
Yeah. Have you ever drawn on a light box?
I don't think so, and if I have, it was not a revelation.
No?
Well, I probably was half-assing it too.
Would you think, like, in your mind, does it sound like something you feel like you need, or you just...
It sounds like something that eventually, when I push myself to be better at art, that it would be something, but right now, I really just need, like, a drawing...
Fair.
I don't even know what drawing board, because the tilt really does make a difference. That's what we had at college. We had the drawing board, and man, it was so dope. Mind you, I always drew like this, and my teacher would come back and just like pull me back, because that's part of the reason why I think I get intimidated by my projects, is because like once I start on something, I'm like... And I actually went to the graphic art and design teacher to check out, kind of like tell him, get an idea what to do for comics, and he was like, okay, so usually when you do comics, I didn't know this, you do them really big. That's how they get all the fine detail in there. I was doing them on like sketchbook paper, like with the same level of detail, like just close. And that's one of the things that I love doing in art, is putting details and hidden messages and Easter eggs in there.
Yeah. Bada boom.
Bada boom. If you know, you know. If you don't, then pay more attention. Yeah, you won't. It's pretty blatant one actually. It's like an Easter egg. Figure it out, son.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we've talked about loving your wife and our dear friend Alex, and now it is question 65. Do you prefer working remotely or in an office?
For me, I don't work. My office is my own office, so I would say in my office. I have written a number of good things at a bar, so somewhere with crowded people where I can sit. And
I like to read in crowded bars. I think I mentioned that on...
You did, yeah. So, do both. If I have my druthers, I want to... Excuse me, Jesus. I want to be in my fucking office. Wow, I mean, this looks like what my office looks like. It's basically purple wall to wall. I think you can see a bit of the ground here. The ground here is space. I found this wrapping paper that had a print of the cosmos on it, so I bought multiple sheets and just basically put a bunch of
went to town
tape over it. Yeah, there's a bit of tape taping it to the floor, but not much. It's mostly just over top of it so that it was water resistant and semi-tear resistant. It's not foolproof, but I watched this home tour video, some real estate agent, YouTube, blah, blah, blah.
Was he a fake estate agent?
No, he wasn't, but stay tuned. You'll find out all about those. He was a real estate agent, went to this lady's house, and she has painted basically every square inch. Like, it looks like something I would do. Maybe a little, I'd pump the brakes on some things, but upstairs she had hardwood floor, and the gloss that you put over hardwood floor, she found out you just put a dye in it and you can make it any color you want. So my next house, my hardwood floor, I'm gonna make it purple. That's my vision. But for now, space, I think space is kind of better than purple. But yeah, basically all of that to say is I make my office my own, like a son of a gun. And,
wait, like gloss, right? Nothing would stop you from making it purple and then like adding flecks of gold before it dried.
Touche. Yeah, if that would look spacey enough, I could flick. Goddamn. Well, I'll give you a house tour when I get my new house.
There you go.
Paint my floors. Perfect. So, my answer would be my office. You?
Kind of hard to work from home when you work in a kitchen.
Yep. Mail in your fucking meals.
Yeah, really. Like skip the dishes on both sides. Like, it's gonna be a while.
Send me more lettuce.
It's basically what we have to do all the time. Anyway.
Yeah,
lettuce is crazy, but
it's like 40 cars just going all day, rotating,
just killing the atmosphere.
Mom, we need a bigger oven.
I would almost say that if I worked in an office job that I could work remotely from, depending on the office, I'd want to go in because I like changing locations. Yeah. At the same time, if it's the kind of job where I can do like 3 hours of work and then get paid for an 8-hour or 10-hour day, then I'll work remotely because
Farley
corporate system. Yeah. Kudos to you, bro. That's good for you, man.
Yeah.
When he told me about that, I was like, sick. No, honestly, like
sign me up.
Work for, like if that's like he's obviously providing and taking care of business and being able to do what he wants to do other than those like 3 hours of work he does a day, like good on you. I don't have the brain to do what you do, so
there it is. I do like that COVID has given a lot of people the opportunity to work remotely.
Yeah, I do think that's the only downside I see to that is that you don't get the same socialization at the same time. If
you want that, you can find it. I'm feeling like you're right, but the gain is bigger than that loss, because I feel like you think about most people, right? Their social interaction that they typically enjoy is with their friends. They do like their coworkers, but if you're like a parent, you can be at home.
That's a huge one, because daycares, as much as I don't want daycares to lose jobs or whatever, but it is obviously
family have more money to spend on the family than
I'd rather a family have more time to spend together as a family. I think that's a huge thing, which like to me is just kind of heartbreaking when I hear about kids like going off to like preschool or whatever and daycare, and it's like, I'm not shaming the families. I just think it breaks my heart to think that the parents are missing out on all these special moments with their kids. Right?
Yeah.
And it must be confusing on like a psychological sense for the child too to grow up in that way. I'm not saying that it's like detrimental or hurtful, but
I went to some daycares and shit.
Really?
Turned out pretty alright, yeah. Yeah,
I never did.
I suppose, because the age your parents, were any of them...
Well, because my mom took the time off to work, like took time off of work to care, I think, and then she would also just like, because she was like a supply teacher, I'm pretty sure she brought me to work a few places, and like I could go to my dad's work and like hide under the desk and play with my Star Wars action figures.
Cool.
Yeah. Except for the one time that my dad forgot to pick me up from work and pick me up after school, and then my mom was always afraid that he would forget again because that's the thing that my dad would do. I was stoked because I got to play in the woods, but
fair.
I was not supposed to be there for 3 hours.
My dad did not know that school didn't start at 9 for about like 6 years. We would just go there. It started at 8:30, and he'd just drop us off at 9 every day. And like when you're young, I don't think they sweat you that much.
Yeah.
Eventually, the teachers would tell them, like in the parent-teacher meeting, like, the grades are good, but school actually starts at 8:30. My mom would be like, Jim, and then we'd be at school for 8:30 for like the next week or two, and then we'd slowly slip back till 9. Yeah. Thanks, Dad. I love that. One time, he was driving us to school. We were late, and we were now like cognizant that we were late, and so we're driving, and he sees this kid just like running, like he ran out of school and started running up the street, and he had the like insight to stop, and he's like, he's like, what are you doing? He's like, I forgot like my paper or something at my house. He's like, well, hop in. And the kid looked in, saw us both there, and he just hopped in. My dad just turned around and drove the kid to his house. He has like permission slip and drove him back to school, and then drove us to our school.
Solid Jim move.
Yeah.
Very typical of Jim's behavior.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking awesome.
What a good guy.
Yeah, truly. Truly. Yeah. Touch on that enough. Good. Number 66. Do you care to read?
What career did your parents try to get you to pursue?
My dad one time told me, he's like, Caleb, you make a really good doctor. But it was more because I was in there getting stitched up from a skateboarding injury. Colored pants.
I've never had a stitch.
First time. I never got a stitch until I was 20. I didn't want them. I've had some scars I should have. This one here you can kind of see. They just glued that together because I absolutely refused to get a stitch. They listened to me, surprisingly. I had some clout as a 6-year-old. But anyways, because like the doctor came in, the doctor was just very nice and kind. He's like, you could do that. I'm like, yeah, I could. I do not want to, but you're right. So I don't know if pursue would be the right word. They didn't really try to push me to do anything I didn't want to do.
To me, being a doctor, this kind of ties into what my mom tried to get me. Well, I say try. She saw the road I was going down and tried to suggest me any other path than basically drunkenness.
Self-destruction.
Yeah. God bless you, Mom. Thank you for
caring,
suggesting things. To me, it's like, I'm okay seeing bodies fucked up. Like, dead bodies. It's like, oh, geez, that's gnarly. If the idea of cutting someone open and there still being, like, beating organs in there, maybe I could get used to it, but it's also like, like, please be dead. Like, I can't hurt you if you're dead. Like, I'm okay with things being, well, I mean, that being said, like, some bodies, I spent a bit of an edgy period in my teenage years, like, looking at documentingreality.com and, like, gore sites and everything.
Okay.
Some stuff I didn't, like, one of the things is I realized, like, I don't want to carry that home with me at the end of the day. Like, but my mom was suggesting that I go to school to become, like, get into forensics, and get into coroner and everything, like do autopsies and everything, which, you know,
it's a little more fitting. The organs aren't pumping there.
Well, but the thing too is that with my mindset, I think that would have only fueled darkness in my soul.
Yeah.
I don't think that would have fueled a healthy mindset.
Yeah. Like relationship
with myself. Yeah. No, like, I'm not saying it would go nipple belt deep, but like I don't think that I would
take that chance.
Yeah, I know that there's a lot of things I'm capable of. If you leave me in a room full of, like, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
They get the picture. I had a guy who always told me I should be a lawyer, because there was one time we were leaving McDonald's and these cops were kind of pulling out of the parking lot slowly, and I had just the trajectory, like the speed of which I was walking, met them as they were driving out, and so I was just like, hey, like, how's it going? And they're like, oh, nothing. We talked back. It was just like a chit chat, and they're like, oh, by the way, we're looking for some guy, like, blah blah blah. Did you see him? Say no. Anyways, so I say all this, and then they leave, and my friend, he's like, oh, kill him. He's like, that was so smooth, and he thought that I like got the cops off our back when we were just walking out of we were not committed, nothing, and he's just like, oh, kill him, and he would tell that story for ages, just like, this buddy and the cops, no problem. I'm like, I literally just had a cordial conversation and then helped them with their investigation as like an afterthought. And it's just, I did try to tell him how it actually went a couple times, but he didn't want to. Yeah, he wanted to believe his version. So respect.
There was one time I got out of talking to cops kind of the opposite way. I was hanging out kind of in this trap apartment. Been drinking, doing other things.
Weed.
Yes.
Weed.
Certainly. And we were walking around like trying to get food, so we went to like McDonald's, and McDonald's only of course had the drive-through because that was that's the West Main one.
Yep.
So we're like, okay, let's go to Tim Hortons. So we're walking towards Tim Hortons, and this cop pulls us over just to check on us. I don't think we were visibly inebriated, but anyway, the guy I was with was super French.
Okay.
And drunk. And the cop was super English. And so I shut up.
Yeah.
Thankfully. And my French friend went on to just...
I'm just putting the night mode back on. Continue.
The night mode?
This.
Oh, night mode.
Yeah.
I was like, the night mode. Anyway. So the cop was just like... listening to this guy, I think his name was Guy, and he's friendly, but he's trying to explain what we're doing, and he was so French that I don't think the cop could tell that he was drunk.
Yeah.
So the cop was obviously just like, I don't want to deal with this. Alright, have a good night, guys. Stay safe. So he kind of just fucked off, and we went and got our shit at Tim Hortons and went back to whatever revelry we were involved in beforehand.
Good job. I wouldn't want to deal with him either.
Well, and then I got back to...
Turn on. Jesus. Anyways, sorry.
So we got back to that place, and then he and his girlfriend really tried to pressure me into playing RuneScape and like joining up, and I was like, no man, I don't want to do this. And he's just like, are you sure? Like, there's all these cool... And I was like, no man, I don't want to play RuneScape. Like,
never played? Dude, so in high school, my friends were just obsessed with it. I'd be trying to hang out with them in the summer and shit, and they just would not want to do anything because they had clan meetings and they had to like stay up all night and shit. Like, it was so bad that one time we went to go watch a movie and they left halfway through the movie because they had a fucking clan meeting. So I made a RuneScape account so I could talk to them and like just keep in touch and like try and get them to come out and do shit. Anyways, I refused to pay for it, like the upgrades and whatever.
Yeah.
So, well, they all did. Like, I don't think it was that much money, but I'm like, I don't think my parents are going to give me $25 a month for this fucking video game.
No, that would be a no on my end.
So, I would just mine. Like, that's what I was like, alright, I'm good at this. But I got such high-level mining that I couldn't use any of the gear that I could, like, smith because I couldn't level up because I didn't have the subscription. So I'd be mining in these caves with all these beings that, like, one blow, they would just fucking kill me. So I'd have to mine and like run away from this fucking creature because I couldn't fight it. And then wait till like...
I'm so proud of you, just so you know. Like, this is just such like... for like, I know that you don't like video games, but for me and my gamer heart, it's just like, this is beautiful. Because I know, I'm sure I've done this in another game.
My name in the game was Solomon, but Solimun. I didn't know about King Solomon till afterwards. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool coincidence.
I kept using the name Unholy Jamian. Jamian because I didn't want to use Fabian.
Yeah. Why should you use Damien?
That's why I didn't want to use.
Oh.
I didn't want to use Damien because it was the son of the devil.
Yeah.
So obviously I went with Unholy Jamian. Anyway, it was like a really workaround Christian kid logic. But that's what I would use in Warcraft and on Gaia Online. I don't know if you wouldn't have gotten into that. That was
No, Puzzle Pirates is the only other. You ever play that?
Puzzle Pirates? No.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I
like
unfortunately stayed away from
mini clips role playing game. One of my friends at like fucking 14 was this like kingpin of gambling. They would play poker at Puzzle Pirates. Yeah, and he'd just be like, coming to school, he's like, man, I fucking won $60K last night in Puzzle Pirates. Fictitious fucking dollars. Like, okay.
I wonder how he's doing now.
He was out snow skiing with us. He's doing fine. That's Justin. Justin was a puzzle pirate.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he's a gamer. You talk to him about games, and we'll figure out some games you like, I'm sure. Maybe so. But anyways, yeah. He was the one who I had play RuneScape. Him and my friend Neil. One time we went over to Neil's house, and he had just got the Diablo expansion pack, so he was up all night.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
We went there. I never forget this because it's just fucking hilarious. I think his dad's name's Derek. Anyways, so we knock on the door. It's like, I don't know, fucking noon. And we're like, hey, is Neil home? And he's like, yeah, down in the basement. So we go down, and, like, Neil's nowhere to be found. We knock on the door of his bedroom, and he's, like, not responding. And then his dad eventually came down, and he's like, where's Neil? And we're like, I think he's in there. He's like, Jesus Christ. And he opens up the door. He's like, Neil, this is unhealthy. You're unhealthy. This is unhealthy. You're unhealthy.
Honestly, something that Neil probably needed to hear.
So, yeah. Love you, Neil, if you watch this. It's unhealthy. You're unhealthy.
To be fair,
so rage.
I probably needed that to, like, whenever I gotta stay away from Minecraft. Like, I'm kind of scared when I get my computer back.
Yeah.
If I get Minecraft, because like that will become. I got Minecraft for the Xbox 360, which if you don't, I'm assuming you don't
know what Minecraft is.
Well, yeah, but
my
so
nephew's player, whatever.
So the computer version is like very expanded.
Okay.
And the 360's version is very limited because you're working with a smaller computer, right? You're working with a less powerful computer.
Okay.
I was still working with a less powerful computer, and I would spend literal days. Like, I'd stay up, and I'd be like, oh, I've been up for 23 hours. I guess I'll sleep. And then I'd sleep, and then I'd wake up and be like, no, it's back to work on the castle. And just like, and mining is my jam. Like, I don't build anything cool. I mine cobblestone, which is like one level above dirt. Like, it's more fancy than dirt.
You just keep digging.
And I just keep digging and building castles. Like, I would build like castles and shit. And like, yeah, they looked cool, but they were made out of like the simplest material. No, I liked Minecraft, but
yeah. I think at Prince of Persia I got into for like a couple days, and I was just so livid. I couldn't beat a level, and then I tried, and they always burnt me out, really. So I just...
There's one game I have. I'm stuck at a part where I'm pretty sure I know exactly how I have to beat it, but it's kind of part of like a boss fight.
Yeah.
And so I have to fight through several stages to get to the part that I'm stuck at. And then if I fail, I have to go back and do all that again. It's like, come on, Overlord. Like, don't treat me like this. So now I'm playing Borderlands because Borderlands is... Well, it's a first-person shooter. It's funnier. It's more action-packed. And I like the art style a lot better. Overlord is okay, but it's... Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway.
Yeah. I think the last video game I played was fucking Skate, where you had to do the toggles. I don't know if you ever played it, but...
I wasn't there, yeah.
No, it was just like, I don't need this to be as hard as real skateboarding. I'll take real skateboarding.
Yeah, I played a skateboarding game, I think, for like an afternoon, and much like with sports games, not my jam.
No. The old Tony Hawk's, it was like guaranteed buttons. You press this, it does this trick. With the skate, it's like you had to toggle like it was your feet. So you had to actually know how that trick was done in real life to a T, like to a certain degree. So you push back, and anyways, it was like I have to fucking spend 2 hours to learn how to kickflip. I can't just hit X and square and over. Like,
yeah,
suck it. You lost me. Anyways, that's that. Video games.
Yeah, my mom wanted me to be a coroner.
Yeah. My dad suggested I might be a doctor, and another guy said a lawyer. And now I'm a artist.
People also tell me to be a comedian, and I tell them, like, I'm so shy, that would never work. I actually, like, at the Route 6, the owners have been like, you should be a comedian. I'm like, well, I'm going to need free beer and an enforcer, because if I'm drinking, then my jokes might not come out, so...
Yeah, get dark.
Literally.
Yeah. I have something that may be a controversial idea, but I was talking to a friend one time, and I said to him that I think that comedy is the lowest form of art. Now I need to explain this, but why I said it is because it's completely dependent upon receiving laughs. Now that's not really what makes it low, but it opens the window for it to be the lowest form, because you can really just like be sappy, or not sappy, you can
just be vulgar,
play to the crowd. You can you can be vulgar, or it's this like this dependency. Whereas at least if you're releasing a really shitty music, like, you kind of still have to have the skills to use the instruments.
Yeah.
Where if you have enough gusto to get on stage and just say some outlandish shit, or do some pandering stuff.
I think comedy's really easy to break into, but it takes a lot to master it. Like,
yes.
Then you have, like, because you have comedians, say Amy Schumer somehow has a career, and then you can't even compare her to, like, Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
Like, he's just
add to
funny.
this theory that the comedians that are the greats are the greatest artists. Like Dave Chappelle, he's basically a writer, but in real time, they're bringing you through a story that's just high level. So I guess with the lowest end comes the highest end.
Well, and that's the thing is you know, like, you can be a really good comedian. There are popular comedians that are just garbage. Also, as a guy in a restaurant who has been subjected to amateur comedy nights at the Hubcap Festival. Yeah. Holy fuck. Like, there was one dude who people weren't laughing at his jokes, so he just talked progressively louder. And, like, I was in the back eating a steak and drinking a bottle of Fin du Mont. And I was just like, holy fuck, man. And then, of course, like, the female comedians just talked about sex, and that got laughs. And then there was another dude who, I'm going to say he was like kind of like a cleaned up neckbeard. He was overweight, well dressed. Yeah. And then he decided to get really political, and he's like, with white supremacists, we will castrate you. We will put you down. And it's just like, all right, I get that making
joke. Yeah.
Well, it's like post. Exactly, and it's. I'm not defending white supremacists, but like, it's just like, man, fucking. Your routine needs to, like, castration has to be handled delicately. Literally.
I feel like the ego becomes most evident in comedy. You can really fucking, at least hide behind something else with the other art forms. So that's the other thing, too, is comedy is really skin on skin. Like, you do a drawing, you have then the drawing, right? It's like you divert attention in a sense, like it then becomes this other thing, the song or whatever. But you're just there talking. That's that. Number 68. What does the average week look like for you?
We missed 67.
We sure did.
Yeah.
Is your career path the same as your college degree?
No.
Fuck no. They already get better college degrees.
Yeah, and also that the yes or no question segment was earlier.
So that's an example of how you answer a question, yes or no.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I want to be doing is art, so it kind of has to tie in, but not video games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yours is a little closer to.
Yeah.
I've built stuff since carpentry, but like Tech Park didn't really, I don't know, pull from my carpentry knowledge all that much. Mm-hmm. I did use a saw, so maybe that's not completely true.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I use tools. Good with tools. What does the average week look like for you? Your schedule's pretty set.
Yeah, so I'll start with the beginning. Beginning of my week is Wednesday. I go to work if I haven't gotten enough sleep. I work out, do my tarot, go to work. If I didn't have enough time to do my tarot at home, I do it when I get changed. I work, and then I work. I go home.
You sound like you're in therapy right now.
I go home. I've been meaning to go to the pump house and see Shane on Wednesday or Thursday, so I might try and do that if I get out early this Wednesday, if I remember. Mm-hmm. Shout out Shane. Love you, buddy. Sorry I haven't been around much. This guy fucking kidnaps me on Monday, Tuesday. We'll get to the end of my week soon, okay? But then basically it's rinse and repeat. I go home, I work out, shower. Either I do art, throw darts, do art. Wait, did you say art?
Yeah.
I want to get into meditating, but that's not what I do yet. So then I go to sleep, wake up, rinse and repeat basically until Saturday. I have a call with my brothers.
Nice.
Noon to usually around 3. Then I go to work, come home, do the thing. Yeah. Sunday hopefully is going to be Bible study at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then my plan is to work out, do art, throw darts, play games. And then Monday, I sleep all day so that I can prepare to hang out with this guy. And then we usually hit Value Village, see our boy Janil. Mm-hmm. And then we do the podcast, have a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Then we sleep all day.
Yep.
Go to Mystic Moons. And do the intros.
Yep.
And then I usually go home too late because I don't want to stop hanging out with Caleb.
Yep.
And then I have to wake up late for Wednesday, do my tarot at work. Mm-hmm. What does your week look like, buddy?
Well, you got the first end of my week for them. Monday and Tuesday are the podcast days. All throughout the night, Monday to Tuesday morning, we do the podcasts, and then, maybe go do something, or just sleep, and then it's intros.
I feel like we're going to get stuff done today. I'm not tired, really.
No, same. I'm ready to go, baby.
Yeah,
let's see that sun.
Fucking rocket.
Mm-hmm.
I get to wear my sunglasses today.
Lately, Mondays, we've been doing family supper.
Yeah, it's really nice. I should have mentioned that. Diane usually cooks us a really wonderful supper. Yeah,
we had fish tacos tonight, I guess.
Last night.
Breakfast.
Basically our breakfast, yeah. Well, I had a pre-supper snack. I had my eggs and a Caesar salad.
I suppose I had a ginger turmeric shot and a perfect bar, that peanut butter bar I gave you a taste of.
Okay.
Yeah. I had that. And it was on to supper, baby. Or breakfast. Yeah. Lunch, I guess, might qualify. Second meal of the day.
Mm-hmm. Or second breakfast if you're a hobbit.
Yeah, second breakfast. This is more so. After the Monday and Tuesday are over with, my week depends on my mental well-being. I may have a fucking, some sort of trial and tribulation with something I'm upset about. I'll figure out how to fix that. And once that's fixed, the day's kind of just how I curate it. So lately it's been playing a lot of bass. I'll wake up, play the bass. After that, I'll probably take a shower. Then I'll come back, play more bass. Maybe go skate, come back, hang out with the wife. She'll go to bed. I'll play more bass. I'll
I'm just imagining us at a party asking these questions and answering these questions, and like everyone just like being as laborious as we are.
You play a lot of bass.
You play a lot of bass, but like
shower too, huh?
I feel like we're answering this question in a lot more detail, perhaps.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say it's bad, but
no. But lately the weeks have incorporated tarot as well, so pulling the cards and doing that stuff's good.
Yeah.
It's a lot of thinking, honestly. Just thinking all the time, trying to fucking figure out my life and get it to a place where I can do other things than figure out my life, live my life, I guess. So
yeah.
It's an ebb and flow. You gotta do the pre-planning up in the dome, and then it's the execution out here in the home.
There was once a billboard up by the Salvation Army daycare next to my church school that was write your plans in pencil and give God the eraser. And, you know, like, what you need to do. A lot of my week does revolve around, like, all right, what needs to happen? Like, I do my workout pretty regularly, but a lot of my activities day to day is like, okay, what should I do? Stop, listen, turn off the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, go do this.
Yeah, last week on Thursday, my friend Matt came over to jam, and that was wicked fun. I believe he's coming over this Thursday.
Dope.
So that'd be a nice kind of addition to the week. I'd have my Monday and Tuesday filled, Wednesday as a chill day, Thursday as a jam in the evening, and Friday typically supper with my parents, pizza if it is within tradition. Occasionally it's not. Most time pizza for me, and then weekends spend it with the wife. Saturdays either sleep in, go to the market, do something, and then Sundays we go to the skate park in the evenings. So go to Review Skate Park. Shout out Ross, Aaron, all y'all, Natalie, and people, I forget the other couple names, but yeah, they usually have a good time at the skate park Sunday night. And then it's Monday, podcast time, so
Yep.
there you go, folks.
That's, you now know us as people.
Yeah. Number 69. Do you prefer a time block schedule or a simple to-do list? Fucking to-do list.
To-do list, yeah. I've tried time blocks. Not my jam.
No.
Not my jam. That I find that just adds more stress.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just be like, okay, what do I need to get done? And then
take the time to do it.
And I find when you have the to-do list, like, things just naturally, like, evolve.
Yeah.
As you're going along.
You know, I was looking over at my March goals list, and I forgot what number 1 was on it. Do you know what number 1 is on it?
No.
Have ceiling painted.
Dope.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, we got that done.
My ceiling's purple. You will have seen it in the boom mic video.
Yeah. And it wasn't always all purple, and then last week I was like, gotta paint that ceiling, man. And then this Sunday I was like, Caleb, you want to go for a drive? And he's like, I'm
actually
painting the ceiling. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, I'll let you know in an hour or two. And I was like, cool. And then he was like, hey, you want to come help me paint a ceiling? And I was like, I do.
Yeah.
Let me get dressed. You're naked? Well, yeah, I didn't want to get paint on my clothes. Exactly what I would do. So, okay, so in Charlottetown, one time my pipes burst.
Yeah.
In my apartment, which actually prompted me to go move in with a couple of cokeheads. But anyway, shout out Ian and Jared. Fuck you. Ziggs, you're cool. Yeah. Thanks for all the scars. Actually, Jared wasn't too bad. Ian was, anyway, there's different stories I could tell about them. I think that they're just two hurt people that need to heal.
Apparently all.
Yeah, they didn't. Well, I find anyway. I won't go into it.
We don't need to elaborate on it.
Well, anyway, there is a story I could tell about Ian, but that'll come organically another time. So the pipes burst, and then the handyman, he was a drunk, and so he just brought over his shop vac it once, and then left his shop vac in my fucking apartment. So what I would do is I would strip down to my boxers or not, and then like I would tape garbage bags around my knees and my legs and my one hand, so that I could like be on this soaking wet carpet, shop vacuuming it, Jesus. And like moving around.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm doing deep cleaning in an apartment, I am typically naked.
Yeah.
If I'm wearing boxers, it's so I can put my phone in something.
Yeah.
And listen to music.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If it's noise at the house, I don't need to have fucking clothes on.
No.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Not my thing.
Yeah. Clothes are for the outside world.
Yeah. And podcasts.
Well, yeah, this goes to the outside world.
I suppose.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear clothes, though.
No.
You're not at all obligated.
Not at all.
Oh, wow.
Don't tell us. Or do.
Or do.
Yeah.
My DMs are open. So yeah, I prefer a to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be simple, baby.
He's a full course meal.
I surely am.
Number 70, what are your career aspirations? I have a fucking list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Publish many books. Many books. Release albums. A number of albums. Get my art out. Do maybe like an art show. I have some of my paintings and drawings. I'd like to start a clothing brand. Podcast, obviously.
Podcast, yeah.
We're here doing that. Basically, I could sum it up into just being paid for what I choose to do.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my career is podcast. I want to do art. We've talked about doing the art show together.
Yep.
I do want to do comics, but like my comics, I don't want to draw like Batman. I have a couple series, Filtered for Your Safety, that I have. It's kind of been on and off in the works for a decade. Dead of Night, half a decade, that I just need to sit down and start working on. But those are things that I need to get done before I die.
Yeah.
And hopefully I get paid for those things, but if not, then I guess that's just the way God intended.
You'll get there.
I'm sure I will, yeah.
I also forgot to mention that I'd like to... Well, I have a feeling that I will release some textbooks, some information, some insights is more so how I want to say. Kind of invention, but not really invention. Just pull some knowledge out of the ether on numerology and some stuff on maybe astrology, but definitely numerology I have a knack for.
And you could be the Dr. Liverpool that someone reads from.
I could be. I didn't give it to you yet, but I've got the tarot card set that I made.
Oh,
so
neat.
I'll show it to you later, and I'll write out a copy for you so you can just use it with any deck of cards. Yeah, and we can even post that on Smuggle Hunks. The viewers, if they want to.
Shout out to our Instagram, Smuggle Hunks.
Smuggle Hunks.
On Instagram.
Heavenly Hunks. You never showed
Oh, yeah.
your viewer. Last week we had Cove, the beverage.
And then this week we went to Superstore. Superstore is probably, like, eventually going to get a lot of business because of us.
Yep.
So we went to the health food section, and we saw Heavenly Hunks, and I kind of just looked at Caleb, and usually I am kind of mad at how well things work out when we're together. It's like, Heavenly Hunks, well...
There it is.
Just there it is. They're delicious. They're a little expensive, but they're worth it.
Because they're like GMO free, gluten free. They're trying to be,
non-GMO, vegan. This one is
it's vegan too, eh?
Certified vegan.
They're oatmeal chocolate chip cookies in a cube format.
Glyphosate residue free, gluten free. Anyway, they're but that's the thing is like they are hunks.
Pull one out, show them. Fuck it.
You know what? That I don't know. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but
they're kind of like fudge squares. Almost how I describe them.
Yeah,
cubes.
There
they are.
They're a sizable treat.
Not a cookie you've seen before.
Yeah,
that way.
And they're really nice. Like honestly, we were talking like for dessert, you could easily have just one and feel like it was a good dessert. Honestly, I think two would be probably a more likely
Yeah.
serving, but at the same time, that's 3 people that can have a dessert.
Yeah, because it was $6 for a bag of 6. So yeah, $1 a cookie, I guess isn't crazy, but yeah.
I mean, when
they come in a bag like that, you kind of think there's more than 6 assholes.
Yeah, but they were huge.
Yeah.
Well, they are
tasty.
huge. You've just seen. Yeah, and they are tasty and filling.
Yeah. Oatmeal. Can't go wrong with fucking oatmeal chocolate chip.
Yeah.
It's a good cookie. Good motherfucking cookie. So, yeah, career aspirations. I definitely will, release some information to the metaphysical world. Advance that somehow via some alien brain translations. So, that's on my docket, too. Yeah. Be famous for that stuff, but famous just famous, known for the work.
Rich, famous, boil it down.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. So, I'm on my way.
There we go.
We're on our way.
Yep.
There it is.
Look at us go. We can be a part of it.
No, you can't.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Making us famous.
Yes. Yeah. Come enjoy what we have to offer, and we will offer to you things that hopefully you enjoy. No doubt you'll enjoy. There's that.
So you made it this far in the episode, then I think, obviously.
It is always fucking partly awkward talking about wishing to be famous, I think. We shouldn't have famous shaming. There's a air of guilt to it, I feel.
Well, I think too, if you're putting the work in and it's like, I want to be, the thing is too, is that I feel like we actually have stuff to share. It's not that we're just putting out vapid shitty content that won't help anyone. Obviously we kind of bounce back and forth between life and just friendship. But honestly, even our friendship, as I've discussed, is, I think, a good example to other people about what friendship can be and is if you are open and communicative and, you're willing to work on issues and
yeah.
I do think that there is merit in what we do, because honestly, I don't think that the world will be a worse place. I think it will be a better place if we get more attention. And that, inside me is screaming because that sounds so fucking conceited, but I only want people to grow because of watching this podcast. Yeah. And even if it's just an escape from your day, then that's what I want for you. I want to be a source of comfort and of growth.
Yeah, I would point out we're just being honest, and you can always expect honesty from us. That's it's a good expectation to have. Fucking take us to the bank on that, and to you, for us, for all.
Well, we do Smugglers Cove. Smugglers Cove.
Where's the ditty? Smugglers Cove.
Smugglers Cove.
There it is. Number 72.
71.
Fuck you.
You keep skipping?
I get them highlighted. I think it's really done, but I'm just ahead of myself. What time is it? What is one job you've always wanted to try? I feel like I have an answer to this that was somewhere in the back of my brain. Just seeing things and wanting to have done them.
Probably park ranger. Not always, I guess. When I discovered that I care about the environment and care about the planet. Park ranger, just being out in the woods, taking care of things. Working out in nature for the good of nature. I suppose not even park ranger, but basically that broad spectrum, because for a while there I was considering being a marine biologist, but then I was like, do I love the idea of this so much that I'm willing to go back and upgrade my high school credits in biology, because I know I'm smart enough to do it, but at the same time it's kind of there was a lot in the way. And I think that if I am to be, if I think I could do a bit more for the environment if I get rich.
Yeah.
And then I can donate and help that way.
Yeah. You are a fucking wicked good artist. I think the world is deprived if you choose to just be a fucking park ranger. Suppose it could be a park ranger and release art, but it's probably more conducive for you to focus on your art. And
that's just what I need to do is take more time to do art and push through it.
Help the world that way. The park rangers will help them their way. I remember my answer, as you were saying yours. I've always wanted to be I wanted to help the quantum physicists figure out some shit. I was talking about my numerology stuff that I would like to contribute. I have some number theories that I think might be able to be of use in the it's not Higgs boson principle. There's some principle, I should remember this, Heisenberg principle, where they don't understand the movements of molecules when nobody's looking at them.
Okay.
So it's like the set amount of molecules is in whatever fucking atom, and then when they are not observing it, it clearly is moving, because when they observe it, the molecules are in different places. They're always the same amount, and they work within some sort of sphere, but they don't understand that there's no logistics to the movement, so they think. And I think I've got something that sort of can help. It's to do with Fibonacci sequence, and you can boil it down and find an actual repeating sequence. Fibonacci is supposed to be like just infinite expansion. Yeah. And there's a way to synthesize it, so to speak. I think it's pretty obvious, but maybe it's not obvious to everybody. And I think you do need to be able to speak in numbers, and that's kind of what numerology is understanding the number as having characteristics a bit more than the obvious. So I would like to help some quantum physicists. I feel like at one point in my life I'll meet one who's working on that, and I'll be able to work alongside with him, show him what I know, and he would, obviously show me what he knows, and I'd be able to probably just mesh pretty easily. That's that. So there it is. If I felt like a douchebag saying I want to be famous, I should feel like a douchebag saying I want to be a quantum physicist, but I don't. So there it is.
Because that won't do you any good for feeling like a douchebag for pursuing something that's going to help people.
Yeah, precisely. Number 72 now, for real. Do you think your personality matches your current job? Fucking right it does. I love being alone. Writing's a solitary profession. I'm pretty good at thinking. Writing takes a lot of thinking, so those two are in the bag. Research takes a lot of research, I suppose. I'm pretty good doing research. I'm suited for the podcast, I think.
I think the podcast I'm suited for. I think I was suited for kitchen life. I don't think I am anymore, just because it is a very work hard, play hard mentality. And I've done all my play harding.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. Well put.
That's a point in my life that I'm kind of pushing past is the...
Yep. Growing up.
Yep.
Maturing.
Shedding my demons.
As we all do. At our own pace.
Yeah.
There it is. Number 73. What was the worst interview you ever had? I applied once at General Electric's. It's here in town. And so, obviously, they called me in for an interview. And I felt like I fucking crushed the interview. Like every question they asked me, I had to answer. I was confident. There's no, I didn't feel like I was overextending or, selling shit that I couldn't deliver on. And they didn't give me the job. I always wondered why. And now I'm remembering the other one that I wanted to say. I got a job offer at UPS. Basically, this guy knew one of his kids worked there, and it was basically just call and go through the formality, but you get the job. And so it's going good on the phone or whatever, and blah, 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 a couple questions, good. And she even said, this is just, I know your friend, and I know his daughter, so, like, you're good, but we need to do this for just standard. Anyways, then they say, like, do you have any tattoos? And I just went off. I was like, well, I don't understand what that has to do with anything. They're like, oh, we have a policy that, like, and all I had for tattoos at the time was this little tattoo, but I just stood my ground, I died on that hill that day. But I was like, I don't understand why your company does this, and if your company does this, like, there's just no point to this, and I don't support those views, and you guys are backwards. Not basically that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm summarizing, but that, and I have one more. I got a job interview at Kent's. I applied to Kent's, and then I went in. And this is not worst, but this is another one that went weird. I go in, and the girl that's supposed to be doing my interview, she says, oh, like, we're like, hi, you're here for the job? Yeah, okay. She's like, oh, well, I'm going to tell you right now that Kent has a policy where you can't have hair below your shoulders if you're a guy. And she's like, would you consider cutting your hair for the job? I'm like, no. She's like, good, because I wouldn't do it if I were you either. And it was just this, like, wholesome thing where we're kind of both against the man. And she was like, yeah, stick it to him. Get out of here. Get out of here, soldier. Fight your war somewhere else. So, you?
So, after college, I got a paid internship working on, it was such a laughable thing. Working on, like, it was supposed to be like a simulation thing for EMS drivers. Okay. It turned into being like a book, like a fucking shitty book.
How to?
Basically, like, just like talking about intubation and obese patients and shit.
Okay.
And so someone else dropped out, so I got the job. I did that. That lasted a month. I moved back to Charlottetown to do that job, and I was like, okay, I'll find something else.
Yeah.
And so after that month hit, I was like, okay. So I hit the street. Like, I made it a job to find a job. Like, I was out handing out resumes, like, boom, 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 boom. Eventually got a job at Staples. Then I was like, Staples sucks. And Ian, the guy that actually, you know, thanks for getting me in the kitchen industry, you son of a bitch. But he was like, come and apply at Eastside's. I was like, okay, cool. So I got a dishwashing job there. Then I went to Staples, and I was like, I need the weekends off. And she was like, no, I told you when you started that you'd have to work the weekends. And I was like, all right, well, I got another job, so take it or leave it. And you're giving me, like, not enough to live. Like, had me coming in for like 3-hour shifts, and I had to walk 45 minutes to work.
Jesus.
Right? So I was walking shirtless to Staples, and then, like, when I was entering the parking lot, I was putting on my Staples shirt and, like, sweaty as fuck. Anyway, so then when I had the job at Eastside's, I got a call from Co-op like fucking 6 months after I dropped off my resume. They're like, okay, we want to bring you for an interview. I was like, okay, cool, you know. And I said, all right, well, I got another job right now, so, like, I'm willing to do 2 jobs, but I'm gonna need to leave at this time to get to this time. And basically just act like they're asking, you know, like, oh, well, you know, we have to accommodate our workers, and they can't be left alone to do this or whatever. And it, like, it was all okay what they were saying, but the way they were saying it, and also the fact that they wanted me to switch jobs after they waited 6 months to fucking contact me, and the guy's tone was just really shitty. And he's like, well, you're probably not going to get the job, but you can email us or call if you want to know why. But we have other applicants to interview, so we'll see you later. And I was like, all right, cool. So, well, and I didn't go in stupid. I brought a scribbler with questions, and I was like asking questions about this and this and this. I was like, well, it's all union and shit. And I was like, all right, well.
At Staples?
No, at Co-op. Anyway, so then I leave the building and I walk out, and I see them both, like, standing smoking outside the building, and it just, like, walked by. Every night, I had friends that lived behind Co-op. Every night after drinking, walking back across, like, through that parking lot to get to my apartment, I pissed on that doorknob. I pissed on that doorknob every fucking time I crossed that doorknob. So, like, you son of a bitch, you want to fucking yank me around? Yeah, you can call me and ask me why your doorknob's frozen with piss in the winter.
It takes two to tango, baby.
Oh, yeah, buddy. I play a mean game. Like, I will get back at you, and it's not going to be in a sanitary way. Like, there's no clean wounds when I start brawling. Yeah, no, that was probably my worst interview that I can remember. I had a weird one where I told you about the water testing job downstairs when I told you that it was like an hour for chlorine, not 24.
Yes, yeah.
So I went into that, and it was literally like just like a fishing net of basically they didn't tell you exactly what the job was, and I was like water testing, and I was like, yeah, I want to pursue my career of being a water tester and helping the environment,
as many young men do. Yeah.
Well, but it wasn't a job for like actually environmental shit. It was I had to dress nice, go to houses, and like make presentations and sell 1,500 or 15,000.
I had one of those fuckers in my house. Yeah.
Yeah. So I go into that, and it was like basically like they call your name, and I go in, and this woman who was a fucking narcissist was asking me, and I leaned forward. I was like, well, I want to do something to help the environment. And I pulled some big words on her. I can't remember the wording that I used, but she goes, oh, fancy schmancy. It's like, well, sorry for making you feel stupid, you fucking... Anyway, and then that was just a shitty interview, and I started the job. And she spent like the first morning of the job, like introduction class, talking about herself. And she would say her name over and over again, like her own name. She was just a fucking crazy person. But anyway, that job just seemed like a real like pyramid scheme. My dad kept saying, I was like, it's not a pyramid scheme. It's not a scam. It's just really underhanded. Like don't bring me in for water testing and then have it be like, okay, like I test their water in front of them. Yeah. Like it was really, really...
I've been through the drill. Yeah. He gave me like a free set of bowls afterwards. Did you guys have swag you gave out for the
I don't know, because it got to the point where it was like, you need to go sell to 2 people, or, and I was just like...
Was it all commission based?
I think it was...
Largely.
Yeah, largely. And it was basically like, if you have friends or family, and I was like, I do not feel like preying on my friends and family. Like, and the thing is that the product was a good product, but just the way they were going about it, I didn't feel comfortable doing it. So when they were like, you have to do this if you want to be part of the career, I just didn't go back. My dad was like, well, you should call them just for your sake. And I was like, no, they lied about, or at least were deceptive about what the job was. I'm not going to give them the time of day. Like I don't think I would have been a worse person for calling. But I think that they didn't deserve that level of respect, and maybe it does speak to my integrity, but it's not something that I think about.
No.
A weird interview that I had, though, interviewing for the English teaching position to the Russians, because I had this all like in my mind. It was like all planned out because I was really nervous about the interview. Yeah. And it was like, you have to show people how you're good at English and or like how you do it. And so I had
you just said supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Well, no, I had some things like written out, and the lady was like, okay, so explain what you would do. And I would be like, okay, so like read these lines and point out like I had like the verb and then like tell me how to conjugate it. Okay. And then one was, I want you to write a paragraph and then I'll correct it or something like that. She was like, no, this is interview. I don't want to, we can't do that. That would take too much time. What else? And I was just like, damn it. Like, fuck. And I
only packed one card.
Yeah, really. No, I had only one ace up my sleeve and it had holes. But anyway, I ended up getting the job anyway. And that actually, I rocked that job. I was making, not bank, but pretty good money. Nice. Not pretty good money. It was basically like a part-time job that I just made Russian women swoon with my voice.
Yeah. That's better than money.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I also made some really good friends, but
that's also better than money.
Well, and that's the thing is now I have relationships that have lasted years and years and years. Shout out Dennis, Lana, Inca. Thank you for everything.
Hi, Lana. That's one I have virtually somewhat sort of met.
Right, yeah, Atlanta. Yeah. We've done the... I'm sure Dennis would get a kick
Superstore.
Yeah. Yeah, that job was pretty fun because I basically just got to make Russian friends all day. And I was already up all night anyway, so like I had a schedule that was built around that.
Nice.
But then there was like different leadership that took over, and they kept kind of fucking us over. At one point, they were like, "There's a cap for how many messages you can send in a month," because I got paid per message. And I was like, "I'm not going to have a cap on a conversation job. Like, sorry, that's not how I work at all." Because at first when I started, it was like, "Whoa, guys, like really good job, like." Tony, you're doing amazing, you know, like, because I was bringing people in, like, I think I told you about Tandem, the app that I use. You can go and talk to people, and you list what languages you know, what languages you want to speak, and you kind of get matched up. So I actually had a Russian be like, "I saw you on Native Show, man, good job, like, fuck yes, I'm famous in Russia." Just kidding, but it's nice to think that.
How'd they do it? You weren't in Russia when it was...
No, I used Telegram.
Okay.
So it was a group chat, and I would send audio messages and text messages.
No, I meant, like, how'd you get on the TV show in Russia?
Oh, it wasn't a TV show. It was, like, you know, like the YouTube interview that I did, and we also, part of the job was, when it was my day to do videos, I would have videos. I'd take 3 videos and, like, do a transcript for them. And then I would send them off to Katya, and Katya would put them up, post them throughout the day.
Yeah.
There was a number of times I did them super fucking wasted, and just like, so today we're gonna... I don't know how I never got in trouble. I figured the Russians would be really pissed. I never got in trouble for just like sending like plastered messages, and I'd send them to my Ukrainian girlfriend at the time. I'd be like, "What do you think of these, Anya?" And she'd be like, "You look drunk." And I'm like, "That's because I'm fucking drunk." Like, I am hammered.
Plenty of reason for this, huh?
Yeah, no, and like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I stuck to it. Like, I made sure to get those messages. But yeah, that was actually my first time really being on camera. And I was getting pretty good at it, but it was like also on a timer, because on Telegram, when you take a video message, it only goes to a minute.
Yeah.
So I would have to like speak clearly, but quickly enough to get my point across, but all like, and have enough to say. And I'm going to say this really, really confidently.
Yeah.
I was the fucking best, because I really did. Like, my integrity was, like, even if I was drunk, I was still putting out better videos than these other fucking native speakers. Because half of theirs would just be like, "Oh, la-di-da," and like, "Oh." And then another dude was in Hawaii, and he was just this total bro, like surfer bro. And I think he meant the best in the world, but he was also, like, just a fucking
Do you think his accent was hard for them to understand? Like, did you ever get to see some of his videos?
Oh yeah, no, I got to see them, because there was the channel chat, and then there was the group chat, so like I could watch everything that went up, and then but he was an American, like, but like a slow speaking stoner American, so I'm sure that they had no trouble understanding what he was saying. But then he would try and tell me how to interact in the chats. He's like, "Hey man, you should be correcting people's speech and like helping people." But then, like, his corrections were fucking shit. My corrections were like, "Here's how we're doing it." Like, so when I corrected their speech, like, they actually got something out of it. Whereas, like, for him, maybe he did something for them. I'm not going to, like, shit on his work too much, just so I'm not an asshole too bad. But, like,
yeah,
they definitely...
he was, like, beginner level. You were intermediate in the sense of just...
Yeah, they definitely got their money's worth out of me.
Yeah.
But it was a fun job for a while, but then after a bit, it was like there was no one in the chats. I would stay up for hours on end and talk to one person and not get anything done, and then, like, it was so boring that the native speakers were talking to each other, and like there was so few people in it that they were hiring Africans to teach Russians English, and that worked out about as well as you think it would. Like,
yeah, that doesn't quite line up. They're South African. I think they speak English in there.
They weren't South African.
Alright.
Yeah, so worst interview. Definitely a co-op, and I'm glad I pissed on your door every fucking time I passed it. I passed when I passed.
Love it. Number 74. Where do you see yourself professionally in the next 5 or 10 years?
Doing a podcast and art.
Same.
Yeah, that's really all that I have for right now. If I get good at tarot, maybe I'll have a side business doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, just being a fucking hunk.
You're already pretty fucking good, tarot.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and you're good at being a hunk, so
Yeah.
that's more of an innate quality. Can't teach that shit.
Well, I mean, the clothes help.
Yeah.
Thanks to this guy teaching me to not dress in just fucking t-shirts all the time.
It ain't everybody's look. It's
No.
some people's look. But, yeah. Especially as you get older, t-shirts are less and less.
Well, and honestly, man,
I mean,
like,
I see people tucking them. Sorry, but I see people tucking them into the fucking jeans as a stage of maturity.
my brother just always did it.
T-shirts tucked into jeans.
Yeah, but well, my brother grew up in the 80s, so like that's just something my brother has always done, has tucked in his t-shirt into his pants. That's something that I... Okay, so this
Is he ripped? It's a look, like an acquired look.
My brother is a computer programmer.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just picturing the right, because there's the hipster t-shirt tucked into jeans, and then there's the like dad vibe.
I used to wear a t-shirt tucked into my khakis with my suspenders.
Suspenders gives you some flavor.
No.
No?
No.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
No.
It's better.
If I could dig up the photos, you would see them and be like, "Oh my goodness!" Like there are photos of me at Wise
How
Guys.
bad are the shirts?
It was like a gray shirt with beige khakis and suspenders.
No. I still think the suspenders are giving you a little bit of an edge.
You like, and that's why like now I wear the suspenders like even just with the wife beater, because like at least with a wife beater it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But trust me, man. Suspenders and well, plus a lot of my suspenders are black, and then a lot of my t-shirts are black, so it just did nothing for me other than to just tuck in my fucking pants and cut off the cool words from my shirt. But I'm much more happy wearing my my collared shirts and my wife beaters, and honestly, it makes me happy to put on a wife beater every day.
Yeah. Nice. Good. Makes me happy to put on a purple shirt every day.
There you go.
Yeah. I see myself basically the podcast, art, and then music too.
Yeah.
Music for sure.
If I learn an instrument, then yeah,
music as well.
a pan flute.
Yeah. Honestly, thinking about just getting you one for your birthday and like shut up about it already.
I don't think that would be. Yeah, don't waste your money because I'm not going to waste my time.
You get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
I would enjoy every dollar.
No, Tony. Play the fucking pan flute.
Yeah.
I gotta learn "Kissed by a Rose" first thing.
You should learn "Sloan by a Rose."
Sloan by a Rose?
Yeah. I've actually heard "Sloan by a Rose" more than I've heard "Kissed by a Rose."
And that should tell you something.
When you were a kid, how did you answer the question, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I remember this.
I do too.
I was in we had to go see the guidance counselor in grade, I don't know, 6, 7.
Oh, I had to see the counselor way earlier than that.
Well...
Oh, no. Okay, you mean guidance like telling you what to do.
Yeah, but this was career related. Yeah, no, not where you're going. This is on the fucking job level. So it pertains to the question, my fucking sorrows. Or sorrows I inflicted. When you were a kid, how'd you answer the question? I was in there and she's like, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? I looked her dead in the eye and I said, a rock star. And I was full on serious. Like, it wasn't like, it's like, no, like I've seen Motley Crue. Vince Neil has blonde hair. I have blonde hair. I'm going to learn to sing. I'm going to have a band and I'm going to be a rock star. And that's what I would like to do. I've looked at the jobs you've had. And I think that rock star seems like one of the better jobs, so I will go for that.
Yeah.
That's how I answered it. You?
So, what I would tell people for a long time was that I wanted to be a genetic scientist so that I could make myself a wife who was part alligator. Yeah, no, because like I got on the whole, because you know how kids shows that like do the merging animals thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was totally cool, and then I also wanted 2 extra arms and an alligator tail and probably some wings. Like I think I've always had body dysmorphia. Like I just knew I wasn't human. And so I was like, my brother was also really into Egyptian mythology.
Okay.
So like, you know.
Yeah.
Rockin' alligator head lady. I was just like, if I can make you, I can marry you. And then years later, they kind of I think my family friends were kind of telling me like that's creepy as fuck. And I was just like,
but you stayed a couple times, and then when you don't give up the ghost, like I think we had.
Well, you know, I was also like
still.
8 to 10 years old.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like if you keep it up.
If I was 30 and still pursuing my goal of creating a wife with an alligator head,
I think you'd probably be closer to succeeding than not. Or you'd be in jail. I mean, it depends where you're practicing.
Depends on how strong my alligator wife is. Depends on how pumped that girl is. And then I got sent to I don't know what you call it, I'll say guidance counselor for lack of a better term. When I was in grade 2, we had to do these journals.
Yeah.
And they were like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I drew, I want to be a robber. And like, so I had this like in fucking...
Robber?
Yeah, in second grade.
You had in your mind that was a career path?
Yeah, so I had in my workbook, I found that workbook. Someone took that page out of it. I think the guidance counselor took it. I'll bring it over sometime. It's pretty fucking hilarious. Okay. But I had a robber, and like there was a house, and then there was a window with a rope hanging out of it, and then there was me, a jacked dude in a leather trench coat with like spiky pauldrons and knee pads, and a motorcycle behind him. Like I knew what it was like to be a robber, baby. Yeah, I
hop onto your getaway motorcycle with your fucking hug,
and then. Another one in that booklet was, what's a secret you can tell nobody else? Mm-hmm. And I was like, my secret is that I'm a bad guy. And I drew like an old-timey robber with like this black and white striped sweater and the mask. And then he had a bag of money and a gun and he was on a skateboard. Oh, okay. One more thing about my childhood. We had like a project where we had to do, it was like a template of a man, like a bathroom sign. Envision that, but like blocked out, and we had to draw yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Nick, I think his name was. Mm-hmm. I saw that he drew Goku and like as a Super Saiyan, and I was like, oh, we can be creative.
Yeah.
I drew a green red-eyed demon in blue shorts and a t-shirt with a skull on it, and the horns had electricity going. I had to redraw that. They were like, "Oh, you can't do this," and they, told my mom about it. And like there was a thing, like the school was like kept telling my mom like this kid is bad.
You need to keep an eye on your son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I still have that one somewhere.
We're gonna need to see that.
Yes.
We're gonna need to fucking see that. I gotta pee. I'm gonna pause this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them a story? Do you have a story to tell?
Yeah, I'm sure I can come up with something. One will lead into another, I'm sure.
Alright.
Okay.
Tallboy's got it.
Alright. Ooh. Okay, so another one of these workbook activities was what are you going to do on your summer vacation? My answer was I'm going to blow up this school and then all the other schools and then I'll laugh. That got me in some trouble as well. It was a very interesting time in school. in grade 2, I just kept on, well, exposing maybe perhaps a side of myself that was a bit dark and needed some corralling. But the thing that stuck with my mom about that was that the school system was really worried about what I was saying, and pardon me, but what I was saying and what I was drawing, and focusing on what I was doing instead of asking the question, why does this kid hate school so much? And it's true that I was a bit of a troubled child, you know. I was pretty violent in kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, but yeah, it didn't help that I was definitely expressive in the manner that I was, what with threatening to blow up schools and then laughing about it. That definitely kind of
bit of a red flag.
Well, thank God I was only in grade 2, because like if I had been in high school,
yeah,
we could talk about what I got in trouble for in high school. But like, if I would have been in high school, they would have been checking my backpack for the basement tapes. Like,
yeah, I carried a lot more weight.
Would not have been the same thing. But yeah, so my public school experience was short-lived and fraught with visits to the guidance counselor. And as I've said before on the podcast, I always hated the stupid puppets that would recite the hands are for helping, not for hurting. I hated that. Oh no, and I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm a pacifist now. I think that I was kind of like not, you know, emotionally beaten into submission in a sense.
Yeah.
But that was just, yeah, hands are for hurting, not for helping. I was not for helping when I was a kid, at all. I remember, maybe this is a bit too dark, but I remember one time we had a substitute teacher, this poor woman.
Yeah.
Mrs. Wilson was out sick.
Yeah.
And Joel was talking some shit. So I threw my pencil at him, and he broke that pencil, and I was like, you just break my pencil? He's like, yeah, you threw it at me. I was like, I'm going to beat you in the head with a hammer. And jumped up and ran up and just started fucking punching this kid in class. And they were like, you go to the principal's office. And so, of course, I began to cry. Which is typically my knee-jerk reaction. I'm a crier. So like I go to the principal's office and I'm sitting there like, and it wasn't even like Mr. Squeezy couldn't see me, he was busy. So I was talking to Mr. LeBlanc. Mr. LeBlanc was like my next door neighbor down the street. So he's like, what's going on? I was like, I just remember like digging into his bowl of pink peppermints as I watched his like Toronto Blue Jays screensavers flash by. But that poor substitute, like I was just like, because there was another time I was in. I was in detention, and they had a talent show coming up, and these girls were like singing to Britney Spears in the classroom, and I was like, "Shut up!" And they were like, "No, we're doing our talent show recital." And I was just like, "Oh!" So I dragged my desk. There was like a closet, like a teacher's closet at the end of the room. I dragged my desk into the teacher's closet and shut the door. And then when recess was let in, they just saw me dragging my desk out of the fucking teacher's closet. Like, I didn't get in trouble for that somehow, but I was just screaming at them, and I just decided, like, fuck it, I gotta be at my desk. My desk will be somewhere else.
Yeah. Why I had made that sound is because you reminded me of a substitute teacher we had, and we had to take notes, and my friend had written his name at the top of his sheet, like, in preparation to take these notes. Something fucked up with the projector, and she wound up just, like, giving us all photocopied notes. So I took the sheet that had his name on it, and I wrote this whole story about how he wanted to basically bone his mom, and just like went into details. Anyways, so then I handed it back to him, and he's just giggling and like, yeah, fuck you, Caleb. Blah, blah. His mom was hot, so like we always kind of tease him about this. Anyways, doesn't the fucking substitute teacher like hear him giggling, come over and start reading over his shoulder? Now, he has his font in like black pen. He always wrote all capital letters. I have my font, and she starts reading this, and she's like, "Oh my God, Jordan!" And then just takes it from, she assumed like that he wrote it about his mom is what I was gathering.
He's got full Norman Bates.
I was like, this is, because she's going to do something about this. Like, she was hitting the roof, and I was like, this is going to go down to the principal's office, and then they're going to put it together that Caleb McDonald wrote this, and they're going to be like, he's one twisted fuck. And so I'm like, I can't have this on my name. So she kept teaching, and I had to strategically, because there was a TA for a student that needed a TA in our class, and so the TA was like, these are my two like people I got to deke out, and the tattletales. So I was like going up, sharpening my pencil, like waiting.
Mission Impossible, Caleb.
It was, man. I fucking sniped that thing off her desk, threw it in my backpack. Anyways, class goes to end. She's like, Jordan, you're staying behind, and then. So I was like, I'm staying. Like, I'm not letting my friend deal with this, like, bad shit lady. And so she's fishing around her desk. She can't find the page. She's like, Jordan, you took the page. And he didn't see me. Nobody saw me do this. Just me. I got away with it. So she's like, like, you took it. He's like, I didn't take, like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's perfect because he doesn't know what happened.
He's literally pleading innocent to a crime he did not commit.
Yeah. The truth, nothing but the truth. It wasn't a witness. It wasn't implicated.
Yeah.
Anyways, she makes him like empty out his backpack, goes through his books, like can't find the paper, and then this girl's like, "You lost it," because she was like, "Jordan, you stay," and then when she went to go find the page, she realized that it was gone. She was like, "Everybody stays," and so we're all just there while she's fishing through Jordan's shit trying to find this page. Anyways, then this girl's like, if you keep us and we're late for our other class, you have to write us all like slips, like explaining why we're late. I don't even know if that's true, but everybody else just backed that girl like, yeah. And then so
she should have been a lawyer.
She should have. I don't think she went that way at all. But anyways, had a kid young. So yeah. Then she basically says, Jordan, you have to stay again. And I stay with her, and so she's reaming him like, you know, where's the page? I know you took it. I didn't take it. And then she's saying like, you know, you have to go down to the vice principals and tell them what you did and stuff. And we're like, no, we're not doing this. Yeah. So we just left. And of course I showed Jordan that I had the page afterwards. You son of a bitch. I'm like, yeah, well, I didn't know that she's like, I know you wrote that stuff about your mom, and that's fucking disgusting. Didn't say fucking, but like, that's disgusting. Yeah. And that's when it dawned on us that she thought that he wrote it about his mom, and yeah, so anyways, that's why I giggle, because supply teachers are fun.
Yeah.
Well, I could be here for a couple hours telling you all the shit we done did. I told you about that guy, we got causing a mental breakdown. Mr. McLeod.
I think that was on the podcast, wasn't it? Did you tell me that on the podcast, or?
I don't know if I did.
I think it's...
Yeah,
that'll be for another time.
Plenty of good stories.
Yeah.
Back to
Tony wanted to be a genetic scientist so that he could have an alligator life, because ever since he was small, he wanted to be not human and to have love in his life.
Yeah. I wanted to be a rock star. Still do. Will do. Sooner than I think. Number 76. Did you ever expect yourself to end up in the job you have now?
No.
Yeah.
Neither of them.
No.
Well, I kind of thought about like podcasting maybe like for a second, and thought about like voice acting, but then I was like, no. Just because I don't do research, so it's like I have to do research, and research is just an intimidating task to me. But never thought I'd be a cook.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd be doing a podcast.
No.
No.
I remember when Google Video, like that was the first sort of video platform, long before YouTube, and we got on my friend's webcam and recorded this video called Messed Up Kids, and we were acting a fucking fool, like we're all like running through the house, and I'd be sitting there just talking to the webcam, telling them some like I told this ridiculous story about me having a crustache and going to Home Hardware and everyone wanted to rip it off with duct tape, and it was something that'd be funny to a 14-year-old. But anyways, I've always been on the cam.
We
it's not a.
Tim had a video recorder, as he called it, and it was his birthday, and we decided to make a movie. But of course, like, we're all the same age, and we had roles that did not line up with that at all. So I was the father, and Toasty was the son, and like, God bless his gay little heart, he acted it out really well. Like he had the voice and the mannerisms of a 5-year-old kid in a 12-year-old's body, and I think looking back now, it'd be terrifying. But we played around with the video recorder a bit. I don't have too many memories of it, but I know that we did. And I just remember Tim's cousin, Alex. I think Alex. Anyway, he fell asleep in a chair and was snoring really loud, and Tim got mad at him, and then he told his mom on Tim, and Tim got in trouble at his own birthday party because Alex was
Hold on him for snoring?
told on him for being mean to him for snoring. And then Tim had this in the basement with all the guns, Tim had this jam closet that you could fit in just fit in. They're like, okay, Tony, go stand in the closet. And I just remember like coming out, seeing on video, like me going in the closet, maybe staying for like 10 seconds, opening it up, and I just like creep out. I'm like, I'd rather not be in there with the jam.
Well then, no strange to the cam either.
No. I think it found me again.
As for writing, I can't say I expected to find myself as a writer. Not, maybe around 18 I started thinking about being a journalist.
Yeah.
So then it didn't become so surprising. Yeah. As a kid, wanted to be a rock star. Still do. So didn't foresee that. Happy with it though. Number 77, do you consider your job fulfilling? Why or why not?
Podcasting, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I get to hang out with a best friend who is a very like-minded individual who helps me grow as a person and as a man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
Man. So yeah, podcasting, definitely fulfilling. Cooking, I would say that while I learn very valuable skills and have built wonderful friendships over the years, I wouldn't say that cooking is a passion of mine, and therefore it is not fulfilling. Instead, I find doing a good job to be the fulfilling aspect of my work. But that isn't just to downplay the value of my position and then my vocation.
Very sound. Very sound. Yeah, my job's fulfilling. Why? Why is it fulfilling? It helps me grow as a person. Writing all this stuff. There's, stuff I write to share, and then stuff I write to just figure out myself. And it's been, just kind of therapy, really. Self-analysis helps me work through my problems, become a better version of myself. And, how could that not make you feel fulfilled? I ask. I know the answer. Number 78. Do you think it's possible to have your passion and job be the same thing?
Absolutely. Especially in this time period. There are so many niche markets to be explored and even exploited. There, you can get a job doing anything nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The just things being online has opened the world for
so much.
People in different regions. I think about skateboarding really quick. Like 15 years ago, we knew maybe 3 or 4 of the European skateboarders, and now it's this scene is just blended, like the world scene.
Yeah. Like we were watching a video from Indonesia the other day.
Yeah.
Good on you, kids. Rock and roll.
Everybody can do it wherever they're at now, so
yeah,
it's awesome. Number 79. What is the wisest business advice someone has ever given you? Ironically, I was outside of Wise Guys one night. I know.
Already ironic.
And I was telling this guy that I was, I wanted to be a writer, and he'd asked, obviously. Anyways, so I told him about it, and just kind of was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm going to have to move. And he said to me, he's like, well, if you're good at what you do, you don't have to be anywhere but where you are. And I was like, I didn't fully agree with him at the time, because I just felt for me like, my writing will be better when I live in England because they'll understand it more, and it's not as typically Canadian as the Canadian stuff I see coming out. But I think he's right. Odd place to get wise business advice outside of Wise Guys, though the name might imply.
Yeah,
so
everyone who knows the establishment knows that is ironic.
Mm-hmm.
Closest I can come is my friend Shane. Again, thank you. Basically just being like, find someone who knows more about something than you do.
Mm-hmm.
Hang out with them. Pick their brain.
Yeah. And fire them.
That would be your method, yes. We'll
That's good advice.
We'll clip that if we ever are looking for an intern.
Yeah, at that point they'd be doing workload that I know how to do, but I don't have time to do.
Well, there you go. Your job is safe.
Yeah. Tony asked me if we should get a sound engineer, and I was like, what are you saying about my skills? I took it personally, slightly.
Yeah, we had a bit of a slap fight about it.
Yeah, I said, I can fucking figure it out. If some fucking nerd can figure it out, I can figure it out.
I lit my pants on fire and charged at him.
Mm-hmm. And then I said, alright, I'll concede on the fact that we hire him for however long it takes me to learn what he knows, and then we fire him. So,
on the concession that he wears a banana suit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do, or he does?
He does.
He does. That works in my favor. That means we're less likely to get a sound engineer.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Workload's back on you, boy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Number 80. Who do you admire most in your professional circle? Honus. He is the writer for my favorite band, Man. And the stuff that he has written is above and beyond anything else I've come across from this generation's of artists. So for me, that is the person I suppose I'd admire most, look up to.
Yeah.
I feel a kinship. I don't really feel threatened by his skill level.
Mm-hmm.
Ernest Hemingway has a quote, if it's like, should another author show another author's work? He's like, no, because if it's bad, I'll hate you. And if it's good, I'll hate you even more. Cause
he was really Ernest Hemingway, yeah. Oh, good old Hemingway.
What about you?
In my professional circle,
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say because I have so many people that are such hard workers and they inspire me by simply being around me every day, doing the work that they do.
Yep.
I'll go to Pete. Shout out Murph Corps. Doing what you love, doing it despite everyone saying that you shouldn't. I don't know why I added that because I don't think that was ever a thing, but doing what you love despite...
Sure, there might have been somebody. But.
No, Pete's the kind of guy, you go on a 5-minute errand, or I'll say like a half an hour errand, you're out for 3 hours because he stops and gives hugs to every second person on the street. It is Charlottetown, and he's old school Charlottetown, so like it's everyone from like 60-year-old men to like 20-year-old dudes being like, hey Pete, like thanks for being... Pete was a crossing guard for years. So he really inspired like the next generation of Charlottetown kids.
Damn. Respect.
So yeah, I would say probably Pete.
Yeah. Well, now that you said a local hero, I gotta fucking give a shout out to Billy from the Shred Shed. Mm-hmm. I do fucking admire what Billy's done down the Shred Shed, and yeah, I've gushed about it in a post on my Instagram. I've gushed about it in the podcast I had here with the board that I'd won, and he's truly just done something for the skate scene that I never ever imagined being able to be a part of, and to have that world just kind of like given to me without ever even asking for it. It's truly a fucking blessing. So
Yeah.
shout out Shred Shed. Follow the fucking Shred Shed. It is a magical place. And thank you, Billy and Moonfrog. Moonfrog, I do have to give another mention to, because Moonfrog's very much a DIY guy. Does it all himself, figures it out, and he's just doing it. You know, it's not like dreams and hopes. He's in the thick of it, going, and he's gonna get someplace good too himself. He's already in a good place, but I'm just saying, the dedication that he has to his work, it's only gonna pay off. So
Yeah.
shout out Moonfrog. Love ya.
And thank you for the comments.
Yes. Yeah, true. Yeah. Thank you indeed, Moonfrog.
Means a lot, buddy.
I'm always watching what you're doing. Your fucking, the edit from March Break was awesome. Thank you. And Dave's Aussie cover, also awesome. So thank you for documenting that evening. And wouldn't have been the same if you didn't do it, man. I get to relive it. I'm already in heaven when I'm there, and then I get to go fucking have this reprieve back into paradise when I watch your videos. So
Yeah.
truly,
Really magical.
thank you, Moonfrog. There we go. Number 81.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to take it away?
Who is the most influential mentor in your career so far? I'm going to go for career. I'm going to just stick to the kitchen. Tyler. Shout out Tyler. He is an absolutely amazing cook. Like, he's a chef. And for anyone outside of the kitchen industry, so a cook is a job, chef is a title. Tyler is a chef. He doesn't have his red seal, but like, he breathes cooking. Like, his bookshelves are full of cookbooks. He can turn like the most meager meal into something just immaculate. He's always thinking about new ideas for what he can do with food. And again, while cooking is not my passion, Tyler really opened up my eyes to even just cooking better for myself. Really encouraged me and helped me to build my palate, because he would be like, I made this thing, eat it. And it's like, well, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
So I try something that I would never have tried before. And it's just like, well, blows my mind what is out there and what you can do with the art form that is cooking. So I'll say Tyler in the cooking industry.
Fuck yeah. Is that the Tyler I would know?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Tyler.
Yeah, buddy. Love ya.
Fucking A. My would be, I mean, I would say Honus again with the writing. Fucking Cryon. I mean, I've learned so much from Cryon.
With Lee Carroll.
With Lee Carroll. Yeah. Via Lee Carroll.
Via Lee Carroll.
If I'll no, you guys can look up Cryon if you want to look up Cryon.
Yeah.
I would also say JHS, that pedal guy you've seen me watch videos of.
Okay.
That guy helped me a lot when I was. It's kind of thanks to him that I understand basically all this gear that I have here. So he doesn't even know me. I don't even know him, but that's the beauty of YouTube. You know, you get out there, you share your knowledge and wisdom. Fucking Christ. So, and then to ground it to a person that I know around here, I would say, Curtis. Curtis has helped me out a lot. Curtis is the other guy who does fingerboards here in Moncton.
Okay.
So Curtis definitely gave me a bunch of pointers, and that's been super helpful. It's nice to collaborate with him on projects and just get his feedback with different stuff and hearing tips that he has, stuff that hasn't worked for him, stuff that does. Curtis, love you, buddy, and thank you for all the wisdom you've shared, and appreciate that to no ends. Then I would also give another shout out to fucking Moonfrog and Billy, because they just again created this world, and that's maybe not my career, but I mean, Moonfrog does a lot of video editing and all that stuff, and just to see somebody else doing that I can talk to, and you know, I'm sure if I had questions about gear and stuff, he'd answer it, but he, just by being him, it gives me faith and just normalizes doing this too, because it's not everybody you meet who films stuff, edits stuff, and does try to make a more orchestrated ordeal of it. So really, shout out to Moonfrog for being you. Billy, shout out for just DIY and creating a whole world out of nothing in a way. He started skating 3 years ago. Just decided he was going to build a mini ramp. It was just for himself, and then he started sharing it with his friends, and now it's this whole thing. So yeah, that's really just inspiring.
Really powerful. Yeah.
I'd also give a shout out to Jules. Jules has actually helped me a lot in learning how to do this podcast stuff. My first podcast I did with him, and just kind of we figured it out together, and together by figuring out, it just made it all that more accessible, and we knew it was possible. And there's a number of other things I've learned alongside of Jules' spiritual stuff, and he's definitely been there to be a sounding board. And cause spiritual stuff can be kind of polarizing to talk to with friends, so to have a person that I could just shoot the shit with back and forth on that is fucking wonderful. We've been a mentor to each other. I would say if we have to go with a mentor term, but influential definitely fits that bracket, because normalize something for me, and I suppose vice versa for him. It is a treat to talk shop with you, Jules. So there it is.
There you go.
Yeah. That's that.
That's that.
Well, you have some for us?
I think I do.
Alright. I'll play it too.
Today's Russian word of the day is brought to us by Ksenia.Russian at Instagram.
Oh.
And this phrase...
Ksenia was the name you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, Ksenia.
Ksenia. I didn't say
Ksenia.
Ksenia?
Ksenia.
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 Is it X or K? Should I be doing more like an X sound?
K-S. Ksenia. You just kind of
Ksenia.
the K goes immediately into the S.
Ksenia.
Yeah, Ksenia.
Ksenia.
It's tricky once you. Yeah, I still kind of struggle with it sometimes, but it gets easier over time.
It sounds like kind of almost an X when you're saying it.
Yeah.
Ksenia.
Ksenia.
Like how we would pronounce X.
It's Russian school like that.
Okay.
So today's Russian word phrase of the day is Bože, Bože, Bože upasi. Bože upasi, which means God forbid. Bože upasi.
Bože upasi.
Bože upasi.
Bože upasi.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Bože upasi. There's right there. Bože upasi.
Bože upasi.
Bože upasi. God forbid. And God forbid that...
this is the end of the episode. But it is.
But it is. Unfortunately, but fortunately, we will be back again.
God forbid we don't do another one.
Bože upasi.
God encourage us if we do another one.
I think that's all the signs are pointing to. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We really do appreciate the views. If you made it to the end of the video, God bless you. I don't even want to know how long this one is.
Bože bless you. Can it work that way?
Bože? Probably. We'd have to find out what bless is, but
okay.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Bože. I know Bože is good, obviously, but
okay.
I don't know.
That's what I was confirming.
Yeah.
Bože. Kind of sounds like bougie.
Kind of. I got a meme I can show you later about it involves a frog in Russian. Anyway, I'll find it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and staying tuned in again. You must have had nothing to do today. But, we hope you had fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up. Leave us a like. Leave us a comment. Share probably a different video, but share a video with your friends if you think it's worth it. And if you hate people, share that too. Maybe they can learn to be better people, or maybe magically they'll get sucked in and won't be able to annoy you so much because they're too busy listening to us.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
That's like transmutation.
There you go.
Fucking hey.
Equal and equivalent exchange.
Alchemy.
Yeah. I do want to watch that and read that. Full Metal Alchemist. It's a manga.
Yes,
anime, but
I know. Stanley Kubrick. He had Full Metal Jacket. Damn it.
Right.
Okay.
And Tupac
Not
was
the
in that
same
one.
thing.
Before he died.
Was he?
Of course he was. He was the drill sergeant.
Huh.
Yeah.
Didn't know. Tupac is actually in movies, and so I'm walking a fine line of wondering whether you're fucking with me, but it's also fully believable.
Yeah, no, he was in Full Metal Jacket. He was the drill sergeant.
Huh. So.
Yeah, pretty good movie.
Cool. There it is.
There you are.
Love you all.
Absolutely, we do. Thank you for tuning in.